Order accepted.
High-level players will often suggest to play standard or safe, but it's sometimes difficult to tell what exactly standard and safe is. The goal of these tutorials is to answer that question. This is a 3-base Roach opening for ZvP. We start by sending our first Overlord to the natural. This is very important as it's going to determine how we transition out of this opening. We build an Overlord on 9 supply, a spawning pool on 15 supply, and a hatchery on 16 supply, if we can. Many Protoss players will try to block our expansion with a probe or even a pylon. If this happens, there's nothing to worry about. We only need to build an Overlord, wait for our Zerglings to come out, finish off the pylon, and expand. It's important to remember that any resources spent blocking us from our expansion is slowing down our opponent's build as well as slowing down our own build. In addition, we can build the expansion that would have been in our natural at our 3rd. This works out best if our opponent is Forge Fast expanding, but is a little bit more vulnerable to Gateway expands. When our spawning pool is complete, we build a Queen and either 2, 4, or 6 Zerglings. It is important to keep in mind that every Zergling we build is a drone not built. This sacrifices some of our economy in the early game for some attacking power. Generally, we only want 6 Zerglings if we're planning on putting some pressure on our opponent. Otherwise, we'll build 2 to 4 Zerglings to zone out and attack any scouting probes. By this time, our Overlord will have scouted the natural expansion. If there's a wall in it, the natural ramp or choke, we can usually assume that there's a nexus behind it. Many times we'll be able to get the Overlord all the way in to see the nexus itself and get out safely. This is called a Forge Fast Expand, or FFE. If we don't scout the wall in with the Forge and Cannon, our opponent is either preparing for an all-in attack on one base or Gateway expanding. Either way will make the same response. Continue this tutorial by clicking on the build you want to learn how to respond to.